Hello, I'm Bruce Grady, and you are Robin Lim. You are running the Yayasan Bumi Sehat, which is a birthing clinic in Indonesia, and have saved hundreds of lives and have delivered thousands and thousands of babies over the year. You are very interested in the concept of gentle births, create a gentle world, and that's where I think perhaps I can add something, or at least try to teach something. I've been working for about 10 years on a set of techniques that would allow a person to let go of anxiety by mere intention, and a second technique to learn to open the heart methodically to the joy of life, and a third one to learn to beam the power of love as an active emanation, not necessarily that you can mystically change the world around you, but you can make yourself a real powerhouse in the world. So I'll start just, the one about letting go of anxiety is something I don't put much attention on anymore because the other two have sort of taken off by themselves. But the theory behind this first one of letting go of anxiety is that if we are quite anxious, chronically anxious, let's say, if a friend comes up and says, "Hey, you look worried, just let go, you know, chill out." Usually the person can relax for a second, smile at the friend, and then after the friend leaves, the worries climb back on the shoulders. So we begin to think, hey, you know, trying to let go of anxiety doesn't work, because see what happens? It always comes back. But if we look at it a little more closely, we'll see that when you thought to relax, when your friend suggested to relax, something actually did happen. Your heart rate slowed down a bit, you had this feeling of joy, your muscles relaxed. It just didn't stick. I call these things relaxation events. They're not the same as a genuine deep state of relaxation, but they properly seen, they can be seen as a step along the way. So I've evolved a technique, which I'll just share with you shortly, and that is when you feel that you're uptight or, you know, out of sorts, number one, you can intend to relax, release, let go, or surrender. Number two, you listen in your body, mind, and soul if anything changed. For instance, you intend to relax, and you may feel that your heart settles down, or you take a deep breath, right? Or you may experience, all of a sudden, if you're outside, you may experience what a nice day it is, and you hadn't been realizing that before. Or you may have wisdom thoughts, like, oh, life is not so bad, or deeper wisdom. You may have a muscle or sets of muscles relaxed that have been chronically uptight. So any of these I call symptoms of success in having these relaxation events. And so, again, the technique is you intend to relax, release, let go, or surrender. Number two, you listen for any kind of change in your body, mind, or soul. And if it happens, then you count 1, because that was one emotional exercise, successful emotional exercise, where you taught yourself to let go. And if you went into a weight trainer, body trainer, and you said, I want to be stronger, and he'd say, just lift this 15-pound weight 10 times, you'd say, I'm not interested in that, I want to be stronger. He'd say, just do the exercise repetitively, and you will be stronger. In the same way, if we repeat this kind of little technique, it can become very, very powerful. And to cut to the chase here, what I found is, let's say that we're going to bed at night, and we'd like to relax, you know, and so we can fall asleep immediately. What we can do is intend to relax, and if we feel anything, we go 1, and then we do it again, 2, and then we do it again, 3, and you won't make it till 10. So that can be done in a day, anywhere, or as you're going to sleep. But like I say, I'm not so interested in this technique anymore because the others of dealing with the heart directly have proven to be incredibly powerful with huge ramifications in every area of life. There are 2 legs, you might say, or 2 parts, 2 kinds of love. One is acceptance without judgment. That's passive. And the other is the active power of goodwill, of good intentions, of streaming all of your good power to the rest of the universe, or another person, or your own thoughts, or your own fears. Jesus said, perfect love casts out fear. And he said, love your enemies and bless those who persecute you. But before we go into that, let me tell you what these techniques are. To methodically open the heart, I found that we choose, it's almost like a visual mantra. We take a walk, and movement in this sense is very important. We take a walk and we choose in our mind a type of object that we know is going to be coming towards us a lot on this walk. Like, it's October here, so we would choose maybe leaves on the street, or fence posts, or telephone poles if we're driving, or pebbles. We do not choose flowers, because they're supposed to open our hearts. We expect that. We're trying to learn to open to normal little objects. We are opening our heart and not trying to be overshadowed by the beauty of something else. We're learning to see the beauty in the smallest of objects. So what we do is having chosen in our mind an object that we know will be familiar or repetitive, is we start walking or moving. And as each one comes to us, we look at it with the mind kind of focusing. This is not high concentration, but we intend to drink it in to the heart. We intend to see it with the heart only. We intend to drop all of our thoughts and just drink it in as we would the beauty of a small little baby who came into our arms. Completely without judgment, complete openness. If thoughts come, it's okay. If we think ourselves, oh, that's pretty, that's not pretty, it doesn't even matter. The point is the opening. So we go down the street, and there's one, let's say we've done cracks in the sidewalk this time. There's one crack, and we open to it. And there's another crack, and we open to it. And after a little while, you'll find yourself going, oh, look, there's another crack. Because they are beautiful. Everything God made is beautiful. And there tends to be a kind of sweetness that grows in this experience. We know that our heart is open. Time stands still or slows down. Our perception of beauty of everything around us increases. Wisdom thoughts start rushing into our head, and fear goes away. Right? So that's the second major technique. But we're just practicing, learning to open. These are very simple techniques. They're like catalysts. They're not important in and of themselves. They are important in what they allow us to do later. I'll go on to the third technique now. So let's say that we have gotten to the place where we have some sweetness and some calmness and some niceness in our heart from looking at these cracks in the sidewalk or pebbles or fence posts, right? Then that was the passive kind of love. Then what we do is we stop and we look at the same kind of object or another stationary object, and we look at it, we concentrate with the mind, but actually we push power with our heart. Our heart has been warmed up and expanded, and now we take that power. This is like emotional aikido. We take that power and we push it with all of our might from here to that object. And if I've never seen a little leaf get up and fly away as I pushed power towards it. I am not saying that we change these things at all, but I am saying that we change our ability to focus our heart outwards instead of worrying about our own little problems all the time. And so again and again, we'll choose, let's say we choose an object near us and push power, goodwill, good intentions toward it. And then we choose something a little farther and a little farther and a little farther towards the horizon until we're actually beaming love towards the whole horizon. Now this sounds nice, kind of new agey cute, but the fact is it's one of the most powerful things you can learn to do. Just like a person who has legs learns to walk, once we start walking, a whole world is open to us. In this case, a whole world of emotional strength and power becomes open to us once you begin to be able to beam love towards little objects. Okay, I'll go into that. Let's say that we wake up at night and there's in fear, some thought like, I forgot to pay a bill, or there's a woman in labor and she's in trouble, or the economy's falling apart, or whatever. And if we are quite watchful of our psyche, we might realize that thoughts like that rush at us in the middle of the night, and we're taken aback by them. So the soul witnesses thoughts coming towards it, or at least moving across the stage of our consciousness. One night I woke up in fear of something, and I had been practicing this opening and opening and opening towards objects which were moving towards me. And I had been practicing beaming love at objects all around me, right? And this fear was there. Maybe I'd forgotten to pay a bill. I don't even remember what it was. But it was like, like that. Mm-hmm. And usually, because this is not a foreign experience to me, and usually I would wrestle with this thing for about a half an hour or an hour and finally fall asleep out of exhaustion and wake up feeling horrible the next day and be completely dragged out the rest of the day. Mm-hmm. But that particular night, I began to think, that thought like came to me, kind of like those pebbles came to me. And then I did remember what Jesus said, love those who persecute you. What did he say? Love your enemies and bless those who persecute you. And perfect love casts out fear. And I began to think, what if I would just accept the fear instead of trying to deny it? Mm-hmm. And use all that power denying it for an hour. So I decided I'll accept it, and then I'm just going to beam love towards the thought. Let's see what happens. Let's see if Jesus was right. And so basically I did that, and within about 20 seconds, the fear disappeared. Mm-hmm. And I was left in a state of reverie, just thinking about the problem, like, with no fear. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder what I could do about it. And within about 5 minutes, a solution came. Mm-hmm. I fell back to sleep, feeling held in the hands of angels, and slept like a baby all night long. Mm-hmm. Woke up feeling terrifically strong, more powerful than if I had not had that experience. Mm-hmm. Partly because I had beat the devil, and partly because I had found my own strength. I had found how to use the power of love to conquer fear. Mm-hmm. And this has been the biggest lesson of my life. So what I recommend is that every day, as you move around town, you choose little objects and repetitively open to them. And then if you're standing in line or waiting somewhere, just choose objects around you and try to blast them away with the power of your heart. Again and again and again. This kind of motion thing towards you, away, towards, with all the power of your heart, gives you the tool to deal with fear. It also gives you the tool to start flowing love towards your thought stream, mm-hmm. towards your environment, towards your hands as you're washing dishes. Mm-hmm. This becomes a tremendously powerful technique of becoming present in the moment. It's incredibly, incredibly powerful. And it's just choosing little objects and methodically opening to them. And then once you get this feeling of sweetness, starting to intentionally push love or positivity, if you're not into love, towards objects of perception.
The technique of experiencing love, being open to love, and then beaming love, that you've simplified into just a technique anyone can learn. It's really beautiful.
What I always experience when I'm properly doing the beaming thing, mm-hmm. is that, like, I get into it, it's kind of like it kind of takes me over during the day. Mm-hmm. I realize that it's not that I am beaming love or positivity. I am love. I am positivity. And the things that happen to me are consequential, just kind of interesting. Mm-hmm. The reason I know this works is, first of all, in my own psychology, I am now confident with any fear that I can beat it, and I do. Mm-hmm. And the other reason I know this works is because there seems to be a link between myself and the universe or the creator that didn't exist before so much. And that is, after I've done this kind of technique, all day long, like clockwork, I get what we call supportive nature, or other people call synchronicity. Mm-hmm. It's like I don't have to worry anymore about if I'm on schedule, if I'm late, if people have become late on me, because I know that during that time I can just beam love, and I know that like after I get done with one activity, I just sit there and my phone rings and it's the next one. It happens like often 6 to 8 times in a day, and it's been going on for months and months and months. So it's just not me that's creating some sort of mood making. It's as if the universe is responding to me. Mm-hmm. It's a beautiful thing. Mm-hmm. So God bless you and thank you.
God bless you.